Look at this. All right, so this is all my stuff, and my excuse is that I have all this luggage because I'm a traveling entrepreneur and I make a lot of video. I want to tell you what's in here, but first let's rewind for a moment.
Oh my, oh my.
All right, I'm currently traveling halfway across the globe once again, and as you saw, I don't travel light. And I want to talk to you a bit about what I bring with me and why when I travel. So as you may know, I've been working as a digital nomad for the past few years, so I travel quite a lot. And I also do a lot of video work, and so that is something that has determined what I take with me. And the reason I don't travel light, the reason I have a lot of luggage with me is because, well, right now I would estimate that about 50% of the volume of things I have with me, and probably like 80% of the weight I carry with me, is just camera gear. I currently have with me 2 cameras, 5 lenses, 2 tripods, 1 GoPro, 1 tiny tripod for the GoPro, 1 light stand, and then just unbelievable amounts of accessories and things, you know, like batteries and cables and chargers and all this other stuff that comes with it, plus audio equipment. Also, I have a pretty chunky laptop, and the reason I have this and not like a nice sleek tablet like I had before is video work, right? So this adds weight and bulk to what I travel with as well. I used to have a Microsoft Surface, which is like a tablet computer before, which is really a wonderful machine. It's amazingly capable at basically everything except video editing. And so the only reason that, again, I logged a few extra kilograms and this thing around is because I do video work. So why all this stuff? The point of this video is not to give you like a gear list. I'll put the actual gear on screen, and I'll also put it below if you want to see a list of my gear. But here's the thing, right? I would never tell someone, oh, you want to start making videos, you want to start doing video marketing, buy all this gear. That would be terrible advice. That would be a huge waste of money. Because the thing is, I don't need this kind of stuff. And if you've watched my content before, you know that I usually preach essentialism, right? Focus on the stuff that's really essential, focus on the stuff that matters. And even for video marketing, even for a lot of the video content I make, I don't need half this gear. The thing is, and the reason I have this gear is because for me, making videos is kind of like a hobby that I also get paid for, right? I like camera gear. I like geeking out over what's the latest camera model, which is the sharpest lens, and all this kind of stuff. It's a hobby, right? I'm honest about this. It's like, I'm not deluding myself into thinking, oh, I have to do this. This is my job, right? No, I don't. I just like this stuff. And another thing is, I wouldn't be lugging around this much of this gear if I was traveling fast. So I travel slow. I tend to be in one place for several months at a time. So it's not a huge inconvenience. So the point is, I don't have this stuff because I need it, and I also didn't start with all this stuff. And here's where my most important point in this video comes in. You see, I think I'm in a really good position with video marketing because when I started out, this was before smartphones had cameras on them or smartphones existed. So I started out with a very cheap, simple camcorder. And I recorded myself using just that and natural light. And then once I started making some money from doing my video marketing and selling courses and things like that, I started spending some of that money on more video equipment. And I started getting better cameras, better lenses. I started getting indoor lights and things like that. And I slowly built up to this gear stack that I have now. This gives me a great advantage because it gives me actual choice in what to do. You see, if I have to, I can make a good content video or a good marketing video using just my smartphone and natural light. No other equipment needed. So, you know, just this what I have my phone in my pocket. That's all I need. Another thing I have is a lavalier mic, which helps, makes the audio quality a bit better. But that's it, right? I don't need any other gear to make a good video. And the same is true for software. I can edit a decent video using free software, no problem. But I can also use more advanced software tools and make videos with all kinds of effects and so on. And I can also use artificial lighting. I can do different lighting setups. I can use mid-range and higher end cameras. And I have a wide array of options that I can choose from to make a video. And this is a principle that I recommend, right? If you want to get good at video marketing, start with the smallest and simplest setup and slowly build up, because the skills you end up with are much more valuable than if you drop in right away with a $5,000 gear setup and then you're dependent on that setup to make things happen. And this carries over to many other things. You see, for business, it's the same for me. I know how to do, I can start a business and run a business solo. I know how to do that. I know all the moving parts in an online business. I can do it all by myself. But I can also build a team, and I know how to build up and run a team of people to work with me. And with that, I'm avoiding a problem that many funded startups have. You know, someone starts a little thing, they get $50 million of funding, and now suddenly you have all this money and you have like 100 people working for you, and you're kind of dropped in much too far ahead in the progression. You don't know what to do, and you're dependent on all this money and you're dependent on all these people, otherwise you can't make anything work. I think that's a terrible way to go about it. So this is the takeaway for today's video. I recommend that you find ways to build up step by step. And the building up, you know, I'm all about keeping lean, and I'm all about doing things with the smallest budget and least time possible. But I do think there's also value in building up. There's value in going, okay, I've mastered the simple thing, let's go a bit more complex. And then I master that, let's go a bit more complex, and so on. That's the approach I recommend you take. Making do with little and starting simple helps develop a skill which is resourcefulness. It makes you more resourceful. And so to practice that, here's my challenge for you for today. Find a way in which to do something that you can already do, something that's already part of your skill, and make it in less time and with fewer resources than usual. So that could be, you know, writing a blog post, but without the tools you're used to and in half the time. It could be making a video, but like ditching half your gear or something like that. And you'll find that a challenge like this will make you more creative. And that's another reason why keeping it simple and small can be very useful. So that's my challenge. Pick something that is part of your business process that you usually do, and do it in either half the time or half the budget or both.